Hello, hello, welcome everyone. I don't know why I started like this. Anyway, hopefully you're doing really well. As you can see, I've got a new deck here. This is another crystal deck. I'll be uploading a video eventually with the unboxing of how I got it and why I got it. But I thought I'd use it today because I just got this deck today, and I'm just going to get rid of the little bits of stuff on the table. However, today we're going to be doing a reading, and it is going to be about next year, 2025. So whether you're in it already or you're watching this just before New Year's, Happy New Year's to you. Have a good celebration, and look forward to whatever's to come in 2025, regardless of what comes through in this reading. This reading's going to be really focusing in on the first few months, right? There's no point focusing on next year when we're in today. Even focusing on today is better than focusing in the future, but it's a good idea. It's a good message, or a good idea to get like a feeling, like putting out the feelers and just sensing what's going to kind of like come through, or what energies are around, so you can best prepare now for whatever's to come. So this is going to be really about what's to come in 2025. You could just say it's 2025 predictions, right? However, I don't feel like they're really predictions. They're more like where you're going at the moment, and if you don't like it, change it, right? Fix it, correct it, don't change it, whatever. It's more of like the energies that are coming, so you can best prepare in whatever way feels right to you. So with that, I hope that helps. We're going to get into the reading. I'm just going to see whichever cards pop through. On the back they have the crystal names, so I'm not really looking at it. I'm just going to feel into whatever card pops out and gives me that, like, this is the card. Okay, this one really wants to come through, so we'll grab that. Okay. All right, so these are the three piles. This one's a bit shiny. The cards are reflective. They've put like a film over the crystal part to make it shine, I guess. It's a funny little deck. Anyway, let's have a look. So for pile number 1, if you're choosing that, you've got Agate. This is what your crystal looks like. I'll just read the top parts. It says communication, prosperity, and growth. For pile 2, you have Azurite, intuition, psychic gifts, and healing. And this is what your Azurite looks like. My hand feels a little bit tingly today, so I'm just going to use my left for a second. Okay. And lastly, pile number 3, you have the Tiger's Eye, self-confidence, success, and empowerment. And this is your crystal. So cute little cards. They are quite nice. I'm just going to move it so that it's not reflecting any light. But these will be your 3 piles today, everyone. Pick whichever one, or one's called to you. Remember, this is going to be something for, I would say, the early, maybe first 3 months of next year, something to be aware of, or the energies to be aware of, so you can adjust yourselves and set course for whatever you're heading towards, right? Because you're the commander-in-chief of this like life. You're not a pawn, let's say, so don't live like one. But yeah, I'll see you in your reading, and I'll give you some time to pick whichever one calls to you. Down in the description below, you'll be able to select the timestamp for your reading. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you in your reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading, pile number 1. Happy New Year to you as well. You've chosen the lovely Agate, and this one has the messages of communication, prosperity, growth. It also focuses in on the earth element and the heart chakra. It says here when to use it, when seeking spiritual grounding and a connection with nature, where to put it, plants, greenery, or in your office or creative space, special care, keep it away from high temperatures and direct sunlight. I feel like that's pretty common for most, right? But yeah, very deep looking crystal. Like this feels like we're going to be really focusing in on the earth, the ground, the 3D kind of level of things. Doesn't mean it's going to necessarily come through with that message, but I feel like this will help with solidifying or grounding. Okay, so we've got a few decks here. Obviously, again, using my deck, check in the description below if you want to support the project. The Kickstarter is halfway through, almost. So yeah, if you want to get your own deck, feel free. All right, let's get some cards. So predictions or messages for 2025 for you. What's to come? I always feel like whatever comes, like whatever is to come, it's fine. Like you go, you do what you need to do. I know it doesn't really say much, but regardless of what comes out in any readings of what anyone does, it's nice to get just positive stuff all the time, right? But we also need to make effort and do our part. If we're focusing on the negative and we're like, why does these negative things keep happening? Stop focusing on them. Flip over to like what's working, what you can be grateful from, and then start working towards what you actually want to achieve and do in life, right? That's really what it is. So I feel like we're going down that kind of a path. It does feel like a real path, if that makes sense. Like there's not going to be a lot of mucking around for people. I think you probably can. I think I'm just going to leave that there. No, I'll put it up here. I feel like you probably can. You can probably muck around with things and just be like, yeah, I'll get around to it. But I feel like this is more than that. This is like, oh, I need to look at this thing because I don't want to get... there's not going to be a lot of time to muck around next year. That's the energy. So enjoy while you've got some time to, recalibrate, to enjoy, to tie off the year and start the new year. But once we get rolling, things are going to start moving quickly. Awareness is going to be important. This one really wants to come through. All right, we'll grab some tarot in a sec. I just want to grab these cards out. So because I put these ones here, I'll flip these two first. You've got the 4th house with family, roots, and foundations. Literally what that was kind of talking about, grounding, right? Into reality. You've got the 4th house. You've also got Jupiter, optimism, growth, and opportunity. Really nice. Jupiter expands things. So if it's highlighting your 4th house, because it's just very clear here, or your need to find solid ground. So it doesn't have to be just family. It could be like solid ground. That's where it's kind of pulling me towards. It's like your best bet for a successful start to the new year is to really make decisions or make if you have like a goals and what do they call them, New Year's resolutions. If you have a resolution that's has to be based in reality, right? It's achievable, even if it's like, well, I want this but over here, so why don't I just focus on that? And it's like, that's fine, you can still get there. But if it's like a stretch goal that is really hard to achieve within 3 months, let's say, like, I don't know, you want to have $1 billion. Like, it's going to take the first step, right? And then the second step. So really focus in on achievable steps towards those goals rather than just like, well, this is what I want to look like. Like, I want to be, like, have this model body, let's say, and I want it within a week. It's going to be really, 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 really tough, right? I don't even know if it's possible, depending on what you already look like. If you already look like a model, maybe it's like pretty easy. But that's the goals. Like, let's start with the food. Let's start where things are not helping that dream come alive. So it's like really foundation, roots, the practicality of it all. And then on the other hand, with the family and roots and foundation, this could be around where do I want to move with my family towards our shared goals and that kind of thing. Because if you follow like a lot of spiritual people, I think a lot of people are like, we're either going this way, a new earth or old earth, right? I feel like we're at that point now where everyone in your family or whoever that you've got around now, maybe some of your kids have kind of shifted mindsets, or you've changed your mind, or people around you, friends, family, have kind of like come and gone. Whatever's set now, it feels like that's already in place. So we're already on the path of new or old earth or whatever you're in, right? So don't worry about where your family are going as in the soul wise, right? Or like their journey. Focus in on helping whoever's around, like your family group, achieve their best, I guess, is really where it's coming from. Supporting. That's it. Regardless of, don't worry about things is basically what I'm saying. It's just like do the work, what needs to be done, and be open to love and support from and for those people that keep you grounded. Okay, that was a lot. We've got pride here too. Pride always makes me think of, in this card anyway, of like what traditionally pride was, like, you know, in the sin way. Not that I really believe in sin, but, you know, let's just say in the sin way, it wasn't like being unique or individual. It was more like, as an issue, it was more like being unable to reach out or ask for help, unable to share your truth because you feared what could come back, so you just left it, right? The pride is kind of like, in this sense, I'll see what the book says because I think they want me to touch on the book. They're just kind of cutting me off, so I'm just going to read the book because maybe I was going to go down a path that wasn't exactly where they want to go. So I don't want to interrupt your reading from source guides, whoever you tap into. Okay, so it says here, pride, you may be acting out of arrogance and vanity. Humility is key. This is about awareness then in that case. Like, it's kind of shifting me more to being aware, and I think I talked about that here. So being aware of how you act, how other people, because other people don't make you act a particular way, right? Unless they've got like forcing you. But like if someone argues with you or fights with you or says rude things, they don't force you to do the same back. You're in control. So it's really about being aware how you respond. It doesn't mean it's nice to be around those kind of energies and people. And it doesn't mean that they don't deserve it, but is it really worth your energy? Is it really worth your time to focus in on that kind of toxicity? This is a real, like, work it out, like overcome it, get over it, move forward kind of energy for you today. And the purpose is because whatever's to come, you need to be grounded for. Doesn't mean like anything bad, but if something great comes along, you don't want to be all over the place and then miss the sweetness of the fruit, so to speak. You want to really enjoy it. And if something challenging comes along, you want to be grounded and safe, like, solid, so that whatever comes through either just blows straight over you and you're not caught up in the drama of it all. You've also got dreams too. I love this next to Jupiter expansion. This actually does feel like you having an opportunity to move forward or break out of, what's coming through, break out of the mundane. So it's like allowing yourself to your creative juices to flow. Basically, for some people, it's just let yourself be creative, let yourself enjoy the hobbies, not to criticize or judge yourself because you're not making money or like doing something that's deemed as progressive or like not progressive, like productive. Sorry, productive was the word, not progressive. Productive in your day-to-day life, because we don't always have to be just doing things because it's productive, right? We are humans, not machines. Okay. Nice. You also have the Kitsune with the Enzo. This says cunning, insightful, and play. Yeah, this is what I was literally just talking about. Letting yourself enjoy. Kitsunes are kind of interesting. Sometimes people see them as negative or positive or just neutral, right? I see them kind of as neutral, like they will lead you to where you need to go, they might take you on a path where if they took you to the treasure straight away, you wouldn't learn the lessons. So they take you on like the challenges and then still get there. So it's like positive, but it's like, was it necessary? And maybe in hindsight, in a year or two, you'll see that that was necessary, because if you just got what you wanted, then you wouldn't learn the value of what you got, right? So it's an interesting one. You might be guided to some interesting things. I feel like next year for you, part one, in the first few months, interesting things might pop up. Things might drastically change, and you're like, what the hell was that? You know, those kind of things. If they feel like they're going to lead you to positive outcome for sure. Maybe even something that you get to tap into your creative juices, let's say. I don't know why I'm saying juices a lot, it's weird. Anyway. Something new, right? Something different. You've got the Squire and Beginner Sword. This says practice, new beginnings, and journey. Yeah, this isn't just like the New Year's New You kind of thing. We've also got the Chinese New Year as well, or Lunar New Year as it's called as well. And it's going to be, I can't remember the element, maybe wood. But what is it? The animal is snake, which kind of coincides in my head with Scorpio. So kind of like that energy of death, rebirth, of, you know, shaking up the old, shaking things out so we can actually see all the bits and pieces that's holding it together, right? If it's held together with something that's flimsy, we might be shocked and sad, but at least we know, instead of just ignorance is bliss type stuff. Next year, ignorance is bliss ain't going to work, especially for this pile, which is good because it opens up a new path for you next year. So if you want something new next year, perfect time. New Year's resolution, Chinese New Year, all that fresh new energy is going to really amplify your ability to go forward with a particular goal, even if it's like painting the house, right? Or like having more time to meditate. Like, it really doesn't have to be a huge thing, but it's going to be something that's really key and core to your progress throughout the year. Okay, this feels really good. This is nice. And I like this because this does feel like breaking out of the mundane with the pride. It's like that saying, I can't remember the saying actually, but it's kind of like just means, why would you work for someone that you don't believe in? Why would you work for a company you don't believe in? Is it just for the funds? There's so many companies out there, so many things you could do. Instead of trying to defend why you don't do things, why don't you just look? You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of energy. Why don't you just explore and expand? Even if you find nothing, at least you looked, right? You might have wasted an hour or two, but it's not really wasting. It's being open to the universe to provide like opportunities in different ways. Because it's like, oh, they actually look at these type of things, when we tried to do that hundreds of times and it didn't work. So now I guess if they're going to look, then and they're going to like get notifications when a job in this kind of area pops up, then we're going to you know, utilize that avenue. Okay, so 2025. There's also an interesting alignment with the planets. Not all of them, but a lot of them, on the 25th of the 1st, 2025. So it's kind of interesting. It's 25 and 25, right? Classic star kind of like stuff. I can't remember what constellations or which you know, zodiacs or which planets they are, but there's quite a few. I'm pretty sure it's like at least half the planets in our solar system that we deem as like planets, and maybe might be including Pluto. I can't remember if that was an alignment, but they're aligning. So there's some big shifts, right? There's some big stuff happening. I think you've got a bit of a reprieve for the... Oh, love that. You've got a bit of a reprieve in the first month. It's more like the first January is like the getting the wheels turning, getting the thing that you want in your house done. This is going to sound silly, but like in my house, we didn't have an oven light for ages, maybe like 2 years, and we just never got around to it. And I was like, what am I waiting for? All I need to do is go get it, plug it in, and that's it. And so I just did it, and I was like, this is so much better. Why did we just live in like, why did I just accept that the oven was always going to be, you know, without a light? So you do get caught up in just silly routines sometimes. I know it's kind of a small thing, but even stuff like that can, like the shift in it can really help with like, oh yeah, this is much easier, much better. You get used to the things that don't work so much that that's just your normal now. When there's easy replacements, the light bulb I think costs like maybe like $4, you know. I wasn't going to break the bank, let's just say that. Nine of Cups coming through. Peacocks have been popping up for me a lot recently. A lot. So I love this for you. And in this specific card is like, the peacock to me expresses individuality, and the Nine of Cups is about, you know, wishes coming true, following dreams, following goals. So your start of your 2025 is really focusing on your goals, like your dreams and the steps towards those. It's realistic, but it's like the goal can be a stretch goal. It's just like the practicality really comes into the first steps. You don't just like yeet up 25 steps in one leap, right? Even if you're very tall, you can only do a few. But like then if you do a few, you might be off balance and fall. So you want to go up constantly and towards those goals, step by step, rather than, you know, jumping up there and putting yourself at risk. There's no reason to rush next year. Things will be moving fast enough. You want to be stable, so whatever comes along, you can make the best decision for you and your family. Okay. Woo! 10 of Cups. Living the dream. Yeah, I mean, the 10 of Cups right next to the 9 of Cups, dreams coming true. And, you know, this is like harmony with in your life, maybe even within your family, because, you know, we've got the 4th house here. Even like if you're looking to expand your family as well, if you're looking to have children, or I don't know, get a Pomeranian, I don't know, whatever, get some kind of animal or that kind of thing, because there's a lot of animals here and they're all working together, right? They may not be like always friendly, but there's a harmony and balance in ecosystems. Like, I'm sure the bison don't love wolves, and those elk, whatever they're called, those elk things. Anyway, you know, they probably don't love wolves, but there's like harmony and balance and all that. When I was watching a documentary on Yellowstone, I've never been to the United States or lived there, but lots of really beautiful places over there, right? Where it hasn't been like destroyed or changed, or climate change isn't really wrecking it. But like, anyway, the bison, where they kind of get older and older and older, and they like eat at this pond, and it's got silica in it because it's like thermal. So they get grass, but if they don't go there, they starve. But if they do go there, their teeth get worn down really quickly. So there's like the balance there. And so is it better in an environment to just die out by starvation because now you have no teeth, right? Or is it better off to feed other animals? So it's like, it's almost like not a great thing, but it was almost like a blessing to be taken out and not to slowly starve to death, right? Not that I think most animals would be like, oh yeah, I love the predator that chases me, but you know, you can kind of see the reason and the purpose for it, because we see that with animals and plants that go wild, right? If they aren't supposed to be in that kind of area, like algae blooms can really wreck rivers and stuff because there's nothing that eats it, so it's just like free reign. Animals that come over from other countries, like in Australia, the cane toad just wipes out lots of different things. Nothing can really eat it, although crows now, because they're so smart, have learnt that they can actually kill them and eat like a certain part. I know it's kind of gruesome, but like I'm just talking about like harmony and balance. I mean, you've got these two cards. This is getting into a position where you can understand, without getting into ego, why certain things are playing out, and whether they have any impact on you or not is up to you, whether it like impacts you. All right, that was a long-winded message, but I hope it really resonates or makes sense to someone. 6 of Pentacles, I like this balance. This is what I was kind of talking about, right? The water buffalo, I think it is. or maybe Cape Buffalo if it's South Africa, and there's this bird, I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like eat ticks off them. There's like a balance between like, hey, this animal's providing food for you. It's also the bird provides safety for the animal by squawking out when a lion's coming or some other kind of predator, right? So there's that. And then on the other hand, they also do inflict whole, like they'll pretend like they're trying to clean, which they do, but also they will start to take stuff from it. So this pride and awareness is being where your energy is being taken away and where it needs to be harmonized and balanced, because this doesn't have to be a person sucking energy from you. It could be just like your own fixation on this person, or this has to be the goal, or this kind of thing, right? This is about just chilling, pretty much. Chill and see where your focus is. Because this next stage is going to have a lot of fun in it, I feel it's got a lot of like play. And you can completely bypass this feels like. It's like, well, I say that and guides are like, not really, but you can kind of bypass a lot of the fun aspects of it and just see it as like challenging life, right? It doesn't have to be. So if you were thinking of traveling or anything like that, you can make that happen. This year is you're setting yourself up for the year to have a lot of growth. The 10 of Cups isn't harmonized through or like reached through ease. It's reached because of lessons learned and, you know, growth basically. All right, what else for next year? You've got the Lovers card. I like this. The little scorpions. I talked about Scorpio as well. When did I talk about that? I can't remember. Oh, right. The snake. You got the Lovers card. Traditionally, Lovers card is about making decisions, right? The very, very older card is like, does the guy marry this woman who he loves, but his parents want him to marry this woman who would bring status and, you know, that kind of thing. And if we were watching this as like Bridgerton or something, we would go, of course, you go for the one you love. That's what everyone goes for. You don't go for the one to bring status. But a completely different world back then, right? That's the kind of like question here. It's like, do I look at how do I want to progress? Do I want to do it in a safe way that brings healing, health, and stability? Because that feels like what is the right answer. Or do I want to get there as quick as possible? Screw my health, screw the people around me, kind of like just get to the goal. And it's like you're already in a transformative stage. The Lovers in the 9 of Cups, especially if you are looking for love, right? Next to the Beginner's Sword, the Journey. This is a good sign for you. If that specifically relates to you looking for romance or love. If you're not, then this is about making a decision on your goals, on your lifetime goals, kind of. It's what's popping up in my head is like, I haven't played The Sims for a long time, but if you ever played The Sims, you have like goals that you want to achieve in life, and there's certain goals that are lifetime. If you achieve them, it's like really, really good, right? You get good stats or whatever. I can't remember what happens. So it's kind of like that. If you reach that, it's like, this is a good time to make decisions on that big goal that you're looking for. But if you don't know it, it's coming through in messages and symbols in your dreams and your reality. Certain pamphlets might pop up that's like, oh, that's random. And it just might be a hint towards something you're interested in. Okay. Got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, passion, things you're passionate about. Ooh, this is really, really, really good. I mean, no cards are necessarily negative, right? It's just, this is very positive. The Ace of Wands is something you're passionate about. Instead of just doing things for the mundane, the routine to make sure you're just keeping your head above water, this is about not fearing any of that, what could happen. It's just going straight forward with your, I don't know, your goals, your passions, your dreams. And the Tower card coming through. Okay, Tower card next to the Ace of Wands. There's two things here that kind of come through for a couple of people maybe. Ace of Wands and the Tower card and the Six of Pentacles, it's kind of like shaking things up where you realize, like, when you start to, like, imagine if you could talk to the buffalo and be like, we've run analysis on these bird eating things, and it's like they actually cause more harm than the ticks that they do remove. So maybe you want to, like, talk to the bird, let's just say, if they could, you know, and be like, you're actually causing more harm than you are doing good overall. Let's just say there's a net value that we could calculate, and it's like, this is too much. So now you start to, like, you know, the other side are aware of, oh, they're looking at me, so I can't really just do what I was doing in the background anymore. Now I need to come through with the truth, whether that's like a partner, whether that's a business, whether that's like you want a better work-life balance, you know, whatever this is for you. It's kind of like that's where the Tower comes in. This Tower isn't a victim of circumstance. This is you kind of like pushing over the tree because you know that the home or the things that were sitting on the tree were eventually going to go anyway because the tree's already dead. But we're just hopefully wishful thinking that it's like it's just going to go. It's just going to work. Especially if there's something in the house, right? Plumbing or anything like that, wiring that needs to be fixed. You know, get on top of it, basically. Call who you need to call. And then also the Tower next to the Ace of Wands. This might be something very new that you're like, oh, that's very scary. Remember, you're not giving up your whole life to like pursue this. This is just something that's add in, and then the fear or whatever else that's holding on to, like, oh no, I can't do that. That gets released because you're starting to look at this, whatever this may be. It's something fulfilling. It's got to be fulfilling. The Ten of Cups is right above the Ace of Wands, so it's has to light a spark within you, whether it's a hobby, musical instrument, artistry, researching lost civilizations or something, you know, whatever. It really doesn't have to be anything productive. This is about passions over productivity. Oh, wow, that's really interesting. I do want to dive into the Pride card just a little bit because it's still kind of bugging me. Because you can see on one side, it's like a skeleton, and then the other side is her face. And so it's not like she's two-faced, right? It's more like part of herself is hidden that needs to be let go of. Because it's already decayed, it's already lost, right? It's like the tree that's already dead. The storm that just rolled over, like, finalized its ending. Retrograde. Interesting with retrograde because there's not a lot of planets going retrograde as much as they were in 2024. There's like, let's say within 3 months of this year, this new year to come, we're going to be in more direct signs. There's obviously Mercury's still going to do its thing. I mean, it's Mercury, you know, it goes backwards and forwards all the time. So that's not really where it's coming from. But the reversal and deceleration, this is like the things that are holding you back. It's really like the things that retrograde you. So it looks like you are going backwards instead of going forwards, even though your brain's like, I'm going forwards. It's like when if we did a test and one person was doing 5 hours of work straight, right? And one person was doing 2 hours and having a break for half an hour and then doing another 2.5 hours. It looks like the one that's doing 4.5 hours would be, you know, doing less work because this one's working 5 hours. So it's like, well, this one's obviously going to get more productivity. But let's just say, for example, the results were this one was more productive. Why? Because they're giving their brain a rest. They're not just like exhausting their brain, exhausting their body. They're like giving themselves rest. They're giving themselves nourishment, letting themselves go to the bathroom and drink water instead of this one who's holding on to go toilet because they have to get the 5 hours done. So yeah, it kind of feels like, what is holding you back? What is really behind the veil that needs to be let go? that's stopping you from achieving, what is it? Achieving grounding, achieving fortification, achieving stability. That's the word. It's funny when I get a word, but it's not the right word, but it's like similar to the word. Oh, okay. The retrograde was out. I'm going to take this one because I could see it. We've got the waxing crescent moon. This, you know, this is, I'm really focusing on this pride. So we've got retrograde, and we've also got the waxing crescent moon. This one says surrender, restoration, and trust. This is about believing in yourself. This isn't just about doing a little this, that, or the other. If you're doing, you know, manifestation or whatever you find, vision boards and stuff, if you don't believe it, there's no point doing it. Do what you believe. Let go of the fear or the what if this doesn't happen or won't happen in the way. Believe that it will, and really believe in it. See it, envision it, see it in your mind's eye. Do the steps that help towards that. If it's like the house is falling apart, start calling people or asking people or getting in touch with neighbors or whatever. Do what you need to do to find someone that's going to help with this. Don't try to do everything yourself. Don't try to be the parent who does everything for you know, for everyone else and doesn't look after themselves. You have to find a good balance with this, because then you're going to find this tower is actually you pushing over the tree, not the tree just falling over because it was time to fall over. Like you've already left the nest before that happens. All right, pile number one, really cool, really nice reading. Looks like a lot of potential and possibilities here, but the possibilities are only as limited as your mind or your dreams, right? As your heart allows you to. So if you're limiting parts of your heart or your like imagination, be open, and that's going to really hold you in good stead for your dreams, achieving goals, and maybe even early in the next year, not just you know, at the end of the year. This is like getting things done at the start of the year. I would say in like February, March, it really feels like those are the good months to get into the driving seat and go forward. Okay, that's it. Thank you for letting me read for you today, pile number one. Look after yourself, take care, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome to your reading, pile number two. I don't know why I'm smiling already. I think you probably already are the kind of like mystics and that kind of thing, you know, the pile that wants to make a difference, right? Change things in their life, maybe connect with more spiritual practices, that kind of thing. That's like really maybe what you're really focusing on in 2025. If it's not, that's okay as well. There might be a blending of practicality and spiritual, right? So maybe you're breaking out of some of the like skepticism. I've seen it sometimes with like people who have gone to mediums and they've gone with like ideas and said like, you know, if it's really you, say this thing or do this, talk about this song or this particular object. And so they do that and they were like, yeah, they said that and they did say this and I did ask for this and it did come through, but I still don't believe it, right? It's kind of like, okay, well, what else do you want, right? Do you want someone to just like touch you and then you start flying around the room? Like, what do you really want? So if you're like that, then maybe this is kind of breaking out of some of the doubts, let's just say. And it's not to indoctrinate you into a religion or something, right? That's definitely not what this is about. This one's just going to be maybe a spiritual journey at the first 3 months of your reading. Also, I'll just let you know I'm listening to vibrations, handpan music, and it's at 77 hertz. 777 hertz, 777 hertz, and this one's titled Higher Self. So maybe you're connecting with your higher self as well. We'll have a look what comes through. I'm just going to grab the oracle cards and then I will flip them all and then I'll try to read without getting too ahead of myself. But I say that all the time and I always do. It's not intentional. It's just like, if I got to say it, I got to say it, right? Okay. All right, medium Coley with Midhaven, Direction, and Reputation. Interesting. And you've also got Saturn, Discipline, Obstacles, and Boundaries. Ha! This idea of practicality with the spiritual is like kind of at opposite ends. It doesn't have to be. They can be lovers if they really want to. Let's grab whatever this deck is called. What is this one? This is the Heal Yourself Oracle. Ooh, she's wild. Yeah, you're definitely going on a journey, right? Wild is really about letting yourself be free. You might be focusing on freedom. That could be financial freedom, it could be time freedom, like having more time for you, or to, I don't know, play games, to do artwork, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a really nice card. I really like the wild card because it just breaks the mold, right? So much mold needs to be broken out of most of us, shaken. Sometimes we need to be shook so that we can really see what falls out of us and be like, oh, was I made up of that? That's not what I like or believe in. How did that become my reality? And it's because it's like incremental little doses of like indoctrination into, I don't know, into like agreed structures that don't actually resonate with you. You kind of don't see what happens, right? So this is about structures too with Saturn. You also have self-love. Yeah, this is about letting yourself be free. You can see her with like going out into the new, like she's kind of like taking a journey of like the new. And she's like same kind of thing, like she's embracing the new. Ooh. Yeah, if this is talking also about psychic abilities, right, I feel like a lot of people are going to be having access to them. It's not like they've been given it, it's just this like a light switch inside the body has just been switched on, and so now they're able to feel and see that which they didn't really agree to before. You can't get there without working on yourself though. There's no point giving like the ability to someone who doesn't doesn't apply good spiritual practices within themselves, or psychic practices, if you want to call it that. I don't even think it's going to be really called psychic abilities. It's just going to be like human abilities, because it already is. It's not something where it's like these special people get this. That is new age, or like that's, you know, 70s 80s kind of mentality. We're way past that. We don't think like that. So it's like this is all coming into the reality zone. And it's interesting with the reputation with the medium Coley. I know I haven't pulled all the cards, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Reputation, because it's like, oh, but if I do this and other people think that I'm like woo-woo, or like have gone mentally deranged or something like that, right? Then I'm going to ruin my reputation. Then I won't get this or that. Oh, I can't do that. It's like, oh, who cares about them, right? What do they know? If you're opening up and you're starting to see and feel the benefits of a life changed from what was supposed to be like very boundary driven and structured, then that can only be better for yourself, especially if it involves healing, it involves exploration of the self. There's going to be obstacles, yeah, for sure. And it's going to take, it really does. It's going to take discipline. Saturn isn't generally the soft, fluffy little fabulous lady planet, right? It's like the stereotypical almost like capitalist male type energy. And I don't mean like when I say lady and all that, I'm not meaning like anything offensive, right? It's just really like that's kind of the energy of Saturn. He's like, nope, you have to do it like this, you got to be like this. So you might be challenging that or creating new boundaries with that still being in place. You can't really just change the whole world around you, but you can change how you respond or move in it with laws and regulations, that kind of thing. Definitely not saying go break the law, but you don't have to limit yourself if it doesn't feel correct. Ooh, okay, got the father and the soul crystal with dedication, loss, and heart space. This could really be breaking down some old walls. The story of the father and the soul crystal is he has crystallized his son because he feels he can save him. His son has kind of like gone into an illness or passed, and so it's kind of like you know how they on sci-fi they kind of freeze them to stop them from aging. It's kind of like that, kind of like Futurama when Fry falls into the cryo. It's kind of like that, and then he pops out later, and it's it's the future. So anyway, he's put him into this kind of thing and gone around the world looking for a cure when really he needed all that time to grieve and to release, and then this is the point where he's finally accepting it, and his guides are around him supporting him, and he's letting go. So this is going to be a time of letting go of old systems and old beliefs, whether they are religious or spiritual even. Doesn't really matter. It could be just like, oh, but I believed in this party or this kind of like government, and it's just not working. So it's like, yeah, just release the indoctrinated kind of like mentality. You can still vote for whoever you want, right? It's not about changing it. It's just about being like, how is this impacting other people around me? Being more open. Because that's actually like when you start to feel and be more empathic to other people, you'll start to open up your abilities. You start to be more empathic towards yourself too. Because pretty much everyone in the world is just a reflection of whatever pain they're feeling onto you, a projection or a reflection of your pain back, right? So if you're in pain or holding on to darkness, you can reflect it whether you are doing it on purpose or not. And so it's like, instead of cycling this chain of hurt, this is about looking after yourself and releasing it, letting go of what has already passed, what's already been, especially the past. That's the only way you can start to move forward. You've also got the miracle work in the grimoire, astral travel, costs and secrets. Okay, very cool. This story, I don't think it relates to your reading, but I'll just kind of briefly go over it. The miracle worker is like very intelligent. She's like highly skilled. And so she gets a little bit in the ego of like, oh, I don't need to learn these basic level stuffs. And so she just goes into the library, grabs like one of the more advanced kind of like books, and she starts to play around with it. And so while she's doing it, she kind of recognizes that this is beyond her, and it's too late. She's already taken the steps. It doesn't turn out bad for her, but it turns out to be a big lesson, and kind of like, it's kind of like if people were texting and driving, right? And some people will end up crashing and they'll kill themselves, or they'll, someone else will die, or they'll recognize they'll have a little accident and be absolutely fine, but learn the lesson, right? So this is kind of like, you don't have to go wild. This is just about making shifts and changes that are going to improve your health, your stability in this world, and maybe add some more spice and zest into the mix. Okay. All right, let's have a look. But yeah, I love the astral travel as well. That could be very much a part of your abilities. Remote viewing, that kind of thing, if you want to learn that, or even just practice it. I've seen a documentary, which I don't even know if it got released or it just disappeared. But this young girl was being blindfolded, and like she practiced like reading cards. Like they were like, what color is this? That kind of thing. She wouldn't touch, like sometimes she'll touch the card, like it was just a card. And she'd be able to read it, or they would just hold it up. And so it took a lot of time. She wasn't getting it all the time, and it was really frustrating. But then as she learned, she was like, she would be able to be blindfolded with these other kids that were blindfolded and play on the swings and play in the adventure playground or whatever, where, you could fall and accidents could happen, and they didn't because they could sense the world. So it's kind of like, there's a lot of stuff changing, right? There's some weird stuff out there that would be like, no, that can't be right. But a lot of these things are just happening. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff out there. Do a little research if you feel called to. All right, 2025 though. Ooh, you got the Lovers card. This came up in pile 1 as well. if you were interested in looking at that. Lover's card, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, you're ready to move on anyway from whatever you've been experiencing. You're just kind of like, but should I type thing? It's like, yeah, you should. Four of Pentacles, yeah, holding on to that past, holding on to it, holding on. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, she's not holding on, she's letting go. Seven of Wands, yeah, this discipline is going to be you, maybe even against yourself. Not so much like a versus, but just like, I need to make sure that I stand up towards my goals and what I want to create and where I'm going, because you are very intelligent here with this card coming through and probably innately empathic, whether you've been tapping into that energy or not in the past. And empathic is just like, it's not just like having empathy, everyone has empathy. It's kind of like being able to absorb or like transfer or transmute or like recognizing that I'm taking on this energy. You might walk around in certain crowds and feel like, why am I angry? No one's touching me, right? I can go straight through, everything's fine, but why is that? Because you're taking on some energy that's around. Maybe some people down the road are arguing about, I don't know, relationship stuff, right? A couple are just arguing because, you know, they're arguing. And so you kind of like tap into that unannounced, like what is it? I don't know the word, but it's like without you really wanting to, just like without you knowing, I guess. So being aware of it, once you're aware of it, you'll be like, oh, that's what's happening. Now I can look after myself when I'm in those situations. I can be like, oh, this isn't my energy. I'm not actually angry. I'm just going to release that. And mentally see it kind of like moving through you or out of you rather than staying within you and you being like, I have to deal with this, because it's not yours to deal with anyway. Empaths aren't victims, right? They choose whether they are a victim or not, or then they also choose whether they need to absorb this energy or not. Healthy practices are really important. Going to, you know, what was I going to say? Going to like, you know, leaving the situation or leaving the area where it's dense energy for a while, and then when you want to deal with it again, come back into it if you want to, or just recognizing that this is not for you and leaving it permanently. Okay. I've got the Tower card as well. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of shakeups next year. This one came out in pile 1 again as well, so because these two have come out, you know, just saying the whole message is completely different, but if you were drawn to pile 1, there is something here. And you've got the Sun card. I'm just going to start down here. These two feel like the only way to improve the world, or like for things to come through, is to shine a light on them, right? To highlight the shit that's not working. Because if we keep ignoring it or be like, you know, certain leaders just kind of doing shady shit behind everyone's back and people knowing about it, but just being like, oh, well, the world's still moving around in circles, so we'll just let it go. No, it needs to be highlighted, called out. The same can be same within you. It could be things you say towards yourself, like negative talk towards yourself or whatever, you know, all that stuff needs to be let out. Or at least highlighted so it can be exposed. It's like with, you know, everyone talks about Diddy type thing. Like that getting exposed is, in a positive sense, better than that being hidden and still going on underground, right? Or whatever was happening. I don't even know the allegations. I just know that people keep mentioning it in comments and making it a joke. But really, it's like, you know, this kind of shit needs to be brought to the surface so we can start to heal it, move through it, consequences laid out, and whatever happens, happens, right? Better that than ignorance is bliss. And if it's within yourself, you don't want to keep those things hidden. If you have like secrets or anything, maybe some of that kind of stuff comes out, you know, at your choice. But it feels like in a bigger sense, there might be stuff coming out in the news. Be aware of where your head's pointing towards, because if someone's saying, look over there, it doesn't take 5 seconds to have a look over there just in case if something else is happening behind your back, right? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I don't think anything bad's going to happen. It just feels like be very aware, because you have an opportunity to focus on the past or like prepare for the future. you also have an opportunity to hold on to the past. The Lovers card here is about healing. You've got the Self-Love card, which is like being kind to yourself, and transformative. This is a transformative decision that you've got coming up, which could cause you to get into a position of power because you're empowering yourself. And it's going to lead to, good things, great things, going to push over the old thing that's already broken and move forward to the next phase. So interesting. Look, I don't know how this is going to play out specifically in your life. It kind of feels like for some people this could be a very spiritual thing, awakening, like opening up to gifts and that kind of thing. This could be like changing some of the, like making the move out of the job that you no longer like and into something that's more preferable, even if it's like simple. It's just like, that's going to be good to do something simple for a while I adjust to the new me that's coming through. Some of your old systems may actually not be coming with you anymore, whether it's like old beliefs that you're always going to be sick, or you're always going to have this, that, or the other, right? That's kind of like leaving. Or the old, I don't know, law systems you thought were perfect, or like, I don't know, whatever. All that stuff that could, like, you can just reject it in a way. That's how it feels anyway. But obviously I'm not saying do anything against the law, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. You take responsibility for yourself and your actions. But yeah, you've got a lot to, unfold and release. That's interesting. The song actually just finished, so I don't think there's too much to talk about. I might just read this one a little bit, and then I'll leave you here. So you've got 15 with the wild. Wild just says, there is a wild, untamed spirit inside of you, desperate to be unleashed. Free it and claim the gifts of energy, power, passion, and creativity it offers. So it's just like, stop holding yourself back, basically. Start to like live freely, live like you might even do some investigating and stuff. I don't know what you're doing, but like looking into certain things, family records. I don't know, into, I was just watching a thing that popped up, and I don't usually look at those things, but it was a video about a scam getting exposed or something like that. And it was an app that you put on your browser, and it pops up saying, do you want to look for deals or something, because you're going to order, and it's like promotion codes will just get added into this particular deal. I think it was called Honey. And what it was doing was actually like, if you went through a referral code from a different source, that you go here and then you use it there, usually you get commission, but Honey just kind of takes over and takes it. And so it's like they're losing out, which seems kind of scammy, but apparently it's, I don't know. It doesn't seem very fair anyway. But anyway, it's like, you might even start looking into investigating certain things. I don't know what you're going to do, but go for it. Look into it. Don't go so deep that it takes all your time, but give yourself some space and opportunity to explore your soul side, the soul side of you, because it's going to lead to changes, and it feels like peace and happiness with the Sun card coming through, because the Puma or whatever this is looks pretty relaxed, right? Looks pretty chill. It's almost got like a paw on the sun, because it's like the sun is rising. And you're aware of it. You're not in control of the sun, so to speak, but you're in control of like how you're going to deal with this new fresh energy. So yeah, very fun, very interesting cards. I love the Night Tarot, the Guardians of the Night, because it has a little sun in it. And when we're thinking of nighttime cards, we don't think of the sun, right? But the sun is still part of this. So yeah, anyway. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile number 2. Look after yourself. Happy New Year. Go explore, have fun, and look after yourself as a key message here. All right, take care. Hello. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. So this is your 2025 message. What to look out for, prepare for, or be aware of that's coming through. And you've chosen Tiger's Eye, so this is a very strong energy. You've got, this is here, self-confidence, success, and empowerment, the elements of fire and earth, which is very much like lava, right? That kind of like nutrient rich, but very destructive, but also very afterwards, very what do you call it? Like enriching. It enriches the soil. When there's like a lava flow over an area, it kind of wipes a lot of stuff out. However, it also enriches the soil and provides a huge amounts of nutrients and I guess you could say like knowledge from inside the earth and outwards. So that's what was coming through, and it's touching on the sacral, which is like power, sex, you know, empowerment, that kind of thing. It's like the battery, the fire. This is when to use it during job interviews, when speaking in public, facing tough decisions, or setting boundaries. Ooh, this is gonna be good. Where to put it? Near a mirror to help improve your self-confidence, self-image. That's actually really smart. Special care, cleanse under lukewarm running water and recharge in sunlight for renewed energy. There you go. So it's not so much like doing it in the moonlight, right? It's like in the sunlight, which a lot of crystals you don't do that because they can warp or lose their color. But yeah, this is like goes straight to the sun. It's fine, we're taking on that energy. Okay, so we'll see what's coming through, what you need to look out for, look forward to. And well, it's 2025. This is about the start, because whatever's going to happen near the end of it is going to depend on what actions you take now, and you know, in those early months. It can set the dial towards wherever you're going, basically. All right, let's see this one. Yep. Ooh, you've got Venus with beauty, artistry, and love. All right, if you're looking for someone, this is like, I don't really do the whole relationship reading type stuff, but if you're looking for love, then Venus is coming through to help you find that. If it's about self-confidence and seeing the love within you, you know, you've got a big yes there. Oh, this way. We've also got Psyche with soul, consciousness, and mind. Interesting. This is kind of just like, remember who you really are in truth. You're not just this body. It's kind of like, let's just say, if you talk to a child or like a person who didn't realize that where they came from or where they're going, right? So they're just like 7 years old and they're like, I don't remember being 6 years old all the way back. I have no idea if I'm going to be 8 years old into the future, right? I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't understand it. It's the kind of thing. And so they're kind of saying like everything that's happening while I'm 7 is everything in the world, right? So if they're going through a tough time, they're like, the whole world is just tough. It's kind of like getting out of that into, you're so much more. You've been like a baby all the way up to here. You're going to be like an adult all the way out until you pass, right? So there's so much to live for. It's not just, I mean, it is the now, right? What we've got now, but like there's so much more. It's probably not the best analogy, but when we're talking about a soul, like if we could step into the soul kind of like self, and look, we would realize that this incarnation, this body is just very short and temporary. Doesn't mean it's less important or more important. It's just part of, you know, that growth. You don't go through puberty forever. And feeling all those feelings, you eventually come out of it the other side, and hopefully you're, you know, unscathed from that. But you know, that's the whole thing. That's the whole point. So anyway, let's have a look. You've got to have faith. Yeah, self-confidence is going to be a big one here. You've also got sadness here too. It's quite tough, especially if you're still holding on to body image issues. What else? Exes, like, you know, sad like endings, that kind of thing, loss of loved ones, loss of pets, that kind of stuff. It's not saying, you know, just move on from it. It's really about understanding, expressing it, and then, you know, working towards healing. And it may pop up in future where you go into like a sad day or something like that. That's okay. It's not saying like it's not a like a linear path. It sometimes loops back and goes forward, and like it's like this, but you're still constantly moving forward. Whenever you're aware that that's happening, that's okay. The world's going to keep moving forward, so keep moving forward yourself. You've got the ninja and the lucky coins. This is about gains. This is like gains that you don't even recognize. This is about like getting something that really boosts your spirits and helps motivate you. So the next I would say the first month is going to be focusing on what do I need to release? What am I holding on to? What is like keeping me stuck? And then whatever that is, you kind of like go through that process of working. But then in the last 2 months, like well, you know, for the 3 months being, you know, the field, the February and March is going to be like the actions, and it feels like something like quite beneficial will come through. Maybe it's like a bonus in job, or like something extra might come up, which is quite nice, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I can just do that. Like I'm happy to take this because this is going to help towards my goals. So yeah, you're going to be backed by the universe, so to speak. You might be moving country, or like getting out of a situation, like moving house. I don't know, something might change and you're like shocked, but it's good. Does it make sense? Like it wasn't expected, but it's good. So I don't usually say that in these kind of readings because I feel like we're in control of everything that we kind of bring through, but sometimes that random stuff does pop up. I've had it this year where 2 things I thought I didn't even have came up. Like one was money in an old bank, an old electricity company that I used to have with my old house, and they were like, oh, we still have this money, and I didn't know that was there. So it was like, you know, it wasn't a huge amount, but it was like nice, so I used it to buy my family some gifts, right? It was just really handy. And so while that's small, it reminds you that, like, you know, good kind of wild things do pop up. You know, that Monopoly thing with bank error in your favor, collect $200 type thing. Not that a bank would ever pay out, but anyway, you know what I mean. All right, this popped up in part 1 too, just in case if you're interested. You got the Squire and Beginner's Sword with practice, new beginnings and journey. This is the exact same spot. So I feel like from here, this is like bringing in the new. The first month feels like dealing with whatever you're processing, going through, feeling towards yourself, boosting and working on your, you know, your belief and trust in self, basically, and maybe even the people around you. Something coming in that's good, that's going to open up or like give you the prompt to start something new. So we'll have a look at what that looks like and what that may be. It's going to be different for everyone. Obviously, if it comes up, it's like looks like a pilot. Not everyone's going to want to be a pilot, right? So we'll have a look what comes through. Sounds like there's a dog outside. Just heard some barking. Anyway. Let's see. Ooh. So 6 of Cups coming through. There is some healing of the past here that I'm feeling with this one. It can be, I know one thing's popping up for some people. It could be like, there's this thing called fairy gifts, and I never really understood what that meant, but it feels like small things improving your satisfaction in life. So again, because it's right next to the ninja with the lucky coin, right? The coin giving that little bit of boost. It just kind of reiterates something from the past popping back up that's helpful. It may not be from the past, it may be new as well, but whatever it is, it's like, it's coming through. Could be some healing from the past again though, like that's kind of how it is. It's almost like, I don't know, just like, let's say an unfortunate situation happens where this mother loses her kind of like bull, like the male elephant, right? Because of whatever happens, and is like in the sadness, right? Stuck in the sadness, but then has a new baby, new elephant calf, I think they're called, whatever, has like a baby elephant, and then, you know, is focusing in on this, like doesn't forget where it came from, but just sees the blessing of like the partner that was to have like what they've got now. And so there's like this new story coming out from it. Got the Hanged Man with the opossum. Opossums are kind of wild looking. Like in Australia, they kind of look different, but these are like very pointy. Not ugly or anything. They kind of have their own like cuteness, right? But there's something funny about them. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're not in Australia or New Zealand. I've just only seen them on TV or videos on the internet. But it's the Hanged Man. You also have the Judgment card. Yeah, these two are super enlightening, right? The Hanged Man traditionally is like upside down to let go of the stuff that he's carrying, to take a time out for understanding of how he's got to where he is, or how he got into a situation, or like how life has moved forward. And then getting insight on like, okay, so that happened, and then now I need to move forward with like the new knowledge. And then even here, the Judgment card being right next to it is like shedding the old skin. So this could be shedding stuff from the past, recognizing that the past created who you are today. And like this new year, I know it's really touching on more personal, but like this new year is about, you know, reclaiming who you are, getting back like your confidence, getting rid of people that don't serve you. Doesn't mean you take them out, and mean hurt them, but like, you know, you can kind of just leave the situation. You can always leave people. It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's always easy. Some situations are harder than others, but if you really look at it, you're not really as stuck as your mind may make you think you are. And same with Judgment, very similar to this. Getting that aha moment, recognizing everything that led to where I am today has led to where I am today. And here, it had to go through the pain with the bramble or the thorns in the background to shed that old skin, and now it's like able to expand and grow, right? That's the reason why we shed our skin. We just do it like, you know, I don't know, like flaking all the time. But the snake has to do it in one big lump, right? It has to get out of it so it can be in a new skin where it can spread out its internal body parts. Ooh. Also, I didn't say the sound that I'm listening to right now is called Sympathetic Nerve Sound Bath, or Sympathetic Nerve System Sound Bath. It's actually very nice. So this could be, it says here, to calm the body's stress response. So it's to kind of like chill you out. This could be a new way of thinking and feeling too. This is a huge evolution for you, especially if you're like stuck in the past and you don't realize it, or you're stuck in the past and you know it, but it's like the mentality of like, it's impossible, I can never get out of it. Oh, you've got the beginner's sword and you've got the ace of swords. These swords will stab you into the future, right? You know what I mean? Like in a nice way, in a loving, stabbing way. It's a new way of thinking and feeling, and taking on the new steps into the future out of the past. Doesn't mean the sadness goes away. It's just like, that is not, I'm not like a product of a bad situation or event of the past. I can remake myself into the new man, woman, whatever, in the future. Look at you go. You've got the 9 of Wands too. Yeah, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take reflection and perseverance. So there is this like air of perseverance. I would say though, perseverance doesn't mean pushing yourself to the limit. This is like, when I feel like I can go, I'm going to take those opportunities. When I feel like I need a rest, I need a rest. Like, this is balance. There is no speed running, rushing. There's no pushing. There's no, you know, even though these are stabbed into it, it's just like, you know, that's when it's required, or you're being motivated rather than, you know, the mental image of being stabbed. Motivation. Ooh, claiming back your power. Yeah, that's what you're doing in the first part of 2025, pile 3. You are reclaiming your power, building your confidence, and taking charge. You know, this little what are they called? Raccoon. I was like, what are they called? There's a lot of American animals that I'm like, I can't remember the names for some reason. Even though this is like they're not all American, but you know what I mean. The magician also has all the elements with them. You're starting off with fire and earth, and to me it just pictures lava, which is like getting rid of the things that don't work, and maybe also then having to believe and trust in yourself. You've lost, or you're leaving what was, parts of you that it's not really parts of you that you're leaving, you're reclaiming those parts from where they're kind of sitting or still stuck, and then reintegrating them back into you, so that whatever kind of like triggers this like good energy will help you achieve, claim back your power and then go forward with your goals, whether that's looking for love, whether that's like a new spiritual experience, more a more balanced earthly lifestyle, right? And earthly, because you're here, so you may as well enjoy it while you're here and move through it. A lot of comprehension and understanding in the first part of in the next 3 months. You might be like, that's definitely not going to happen now, but you might look back in 3 months and be like, wow, I didn't realize how much I was holding myself back, or I was held back by situation, people, workplaces, whatever, friends, family, etc., etc. It's going to take perseverance for sure, and a healthy mindset. So if you don't feel like it mentally, you're not feeling mentally okay at certain points, then don't push yourself. The sword is mental, but it's also helpful. It's to identify what was. And it's interesting, got a like very nice array of mages too. So I don't see anything that's going to happen that's like set in stone. There is something here though with the lucky coin, that kind of like unexpected gift. It's kind of like I don't know, you just didn't realize it, and it's like doo-doo, it pops up and it's like, okay, well, that's good, I'll take it. Now, why is that popping up now? How can I utilize this like money gift, or like this opportunity to really change my situation, or work on the things that are holding me back, right? It's like all that, even here, like healing the psyche, healing mental health as well feels really good here. Starting to love yourself, look after yourself, all those kind of good things. But otherwise, I'm going to leave that there. Look into these cards. This is your reading too. This isn't me just dictating to you. So, hey. Look at these cards now before this video finishes and really see what's being told to you, because you're also a reader, an individual who can sense the energy of the cards as well. So I know they're a little bit blurry, but like it's getting late here. I had a long day, and so this is the last reading. But hopefully this really does help you. This is all for your benefit and not to tell you what to do or who to be. You're really here to live your life your way. So take command of it. You chose the tiger's eye, so you wanted this. So take it and go with it. Okay, thank you so much, pile number 3. Just as a closure, I do have these cards on Kickstarter. You'll see a prompt in the, in the box or whatever. That you can go see the Kickstarter, the link to the Kickstarter. So go check that out as well if you're interested in these cards. I do use them. I've created them, and yeah, it's got another month to go, so plenty of time to go check it out. All right, take care of yourself, look after yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.